Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jasmine and I am the owner of Weekend Swim, an online swimwear store. Today's video is going to be all about how to start an online business. I've been in business for close to 4 years now, and throughout that time, not only have I built and grown my online store, but I've helped other aspiring business owners launch their stores as well. I know in the beginning it can be extremely confusing since there's so much information out there, so in this video, I'm going to give you 7 steps on how to get started. Let's jump right in. Step number 1 would be to determine what you would want to sell. If you already know this, great, you're one step ahead. If not, I have a few pointers for you. First, I would recommend selecting something that you're truly passionate about. If you're passionate about the product or service you're selling, you're more inclined to work on your business and you're excited and motivated to work on your business. This is extremely important, especially in the beginning when you're growing your business or when your business has any downtime or down days. This gives you the motivation you need to continue working on your business. I'd also recommend staying away from trends or trendy products. Usually with trends, they're super hot right now, but they have a short lifespan. You want to ensure you're building a sustainable business, not a product or service that won't last long in the marketplace. Step number 2 would be selecting a name. When it comes to selecting a name, I definitely recommend avoiding anything that's hard to spell, hard to say, or hard to understand. I hate when I'm watching like YouTube videos or maybe I'm on Instagram scrolling and you see a name and you're not quite sure how to say it, or people have like 4 or 5 different ways of saying it. That's definitely not good, especially when you're wanting to create a cohesive brand. So choose something that's simple yet unique. Once you have a prospective name, you want to ensure that the URL is available. You can do this for free by going to GoDaddy.com. Now, if your name is already taken, a lot of times the .co or .ca or .org is available. However, you want to ensure that you're getting the .com URL. The reason for this is customers are expecting that your website ends in .com. So if it's anything other than that, they may have difficulty finding you. If you really love a name and you can't live without it, you may consider maybe adding a word in there. For example, let's say Weekend Swim was already taken. Maybe you change the name to The Weekend Swim or Weekend Swim Co. or something like that. That way you can still keep the name. However, I would possibly recommend just choosing a new name altogether and something that is available, again, because you really want to create one cohesive brand. So once you've selected a name and you see that the URL is available, I would also ensure that it's available on Instagram as well, especially if you'll be marketing heavy on Instagram. I hate when a business's Instagram name is different from their website. I can't tell you how many times I've gone on a website and before I make a purchase, I'm like, let me go and check out their Instagram account. And I search the exact same name into Instagram and I can't find the business. It's super frustrating. So make sure that the name is also available on Instagram as well. Step number 3 would be a business plan. I know what you're thinking. Does anyone still do those anymore? And yes, they definitely do. There's a big misconception that a business plan is only needed when you need funding or if you're going on Shark Tank or something like that. But I always recommend a business plan. And the reason for that is it acts as a blueprint for your business and it kind of gives you a guideline to follow. Not only that, but it forces you to conduct tons and tons of research on the business that you're going to be getting into. Some things you would include in a business plan are: who are your target audience? What is the price point? Who are your competitors for this market? How big is the market? How are you going to market these products? What are your prospective sales or your sales goals for the month and for the year? What is your budget for this business? When do you plan on launching the business? All of these are really important things to consider before you launch. And by creating a business plan, it helps you kind of get in that mind frame and helps you start doing that research so you become an expert in what you're going to be selling. There are tons of free templates online that you can get that help you do your business plan. It doesn't have to be formal or super long or anything like that. It just has to have all the key facts and all the things you've researched for the area that you're going to be in. Step number 4 would be to determine your business type. The 2 most popular are LLC and sole proprietor. Now, I'm going to admit to you, this was probably the most difficult part of when I first launched my business. I wasn't sure which one to select. I probably thought about it for almost 2 weeks, going back and forth on which one was right for me. I had read tons and tons and tons of articles, and I just wasn't sure which one was right. So here's the thing. When it comes to an online business, and if you're first starting out, I would probably recommend starting as a sole proprietor, and as your business grows, change to an LLC. The reason for that is so many people jump into an LLC, but they really have no idea what that even means or what it entails. For example, I live in California, and in certain states, there is an LLC tax that is due every year. For California, it would be $800. A lot of people are not aware of this. I could not tell you how many people starting a business went out and incorporated as an LLC. Then in April, they get the $800 bill, and they're like, what the heck is this? I had no idea this was even a thing, and that is a problem. So many people, they jump right into a corporation, and they just have no idea what that entails and the fees associated with it. If you are considering becoming an LLC versus a sole proprietor, I would recommend speaking with a business lawyer or a CPA or accountant so they can go over everything with you. I definitely wouldn't recommend just jumping into something like that, because you really want to ensure you know everything that it entails. And the cool thing about a sole proprietor is at any time you can make the jump to an LLC. So maybe start out as a sole proprietor, see how the business goes. If it does start growing, go ahead and incorporate and become an LLC. But until then, while you're still figuring things out and you're trying to ensure that it is something you even want to do, maybe start out as a sole proprietor. Now, again, I am not a business lawyer, and I'm not an accountant or a CPA, so I cannot legally advise you on that. I'm just kind of giving my recommendation. Not only that, but you will find that a lot of online business owners start out as a sole proprietor. So that is definitely something to consider. Step number 5 would be a fictitious business name. A fictitious business name statement gives you the legal right to use a business name other than your own. So for example, my name is Jasmine Rose, but I would be doing business as Weekend Swim. So to legally do that, you would need to file a fictitious business name statement. You could do this by going to your county. Typically there is a small fee. I believe for me it was about $37. So you would file the fictitious business name state with the county, you would pay the fee, and following that, it must be published in a newspaper within 30 days of filing. The county will give you a list of newspapers. What you're going to want to do is you could contact them to determine how much their fee is for running that in their paper. Again, that will vary depending on your location, and you would just go to the newspaper. You will provide them with the copy of the business name statement. They will run it in the newspaper for you. I believe it's once a week for 4 weeks. And then after that 4 weeks, the newspaper will send proof to the county on your behalf. So then there's nothing else that you need to do on your end after that. As an LLC, you do not need to file a fictitious business name. The only time you would is if your LLC name is different than the name you're doing business as. So for example, if my LLC was Jasmine Rose Incorporated, then I would need to file a fictitious business name to use Weekend Swim. I hope that makes sense. I know it's a little confusing, but as a sole proprietor, so to sum things up, as a sole proprietor, you do need a fictitious business name. As an LLC, if your LLC name is the same as the name you're doing business as, you do not need to file a fictitious business name. You only need to file if the name that you're using is going to be different. Hope that makes sense. The next step is the seller's permit. This is probably the most easiest step. For this, it's going to vary depending on your location. For California, it's the Board of Equalization, or BOE. What you can do is for whatever state you're in, you would just, let's say you're in, Atlanta, Georgia, type in Atlanta, Georgia seller's permit. Or if you're in Las Vegas, Nevada seller's permit, and it'll give you the steps that you need to take to obtain a seller's permit. But usually you just complete a form completely online, and after you hit submit, they'll give you a seller's permit. Now, a seller's permit is needed if you're thinking of purchasing wholesale of any sorts. So you do need a seller's permit. And again, it is 100% free, but those steps are going to vary depending on your location. But usually it is something that you can do online and you get that same day. The next step would be a business license. For the business license, this is going to also vary by state. So what you're going to want to do is you can Google business license and then the city and state you're in. Usually I believe it's by county. So for example, I'm in Rancho Cordova County. So I would type in Rancho Cordova's business license. I had to actually go to our city hall. You would fill out a form. There is a fee. I believe it was about $100 or so. Again, that fee will vary. So you would just complete the form, pay the fee, and really that's it. They give you a temporary copy, and then within, I believe it's like 7 to 14 days or so, you'll get the original in the mail. Next would be to obtain an EIN or an employee identification number. This is 100% free, and you can do this on the IRS website. An EIN is pretty much think of it as like a social security number for your business. So this is something that you're going to use on any like tax forms. Occasionally, wholesalers will ask for your EIN number, although extremely rare. I know some people say, oh yeah, people ask for my EIN. I've probably, out of, my close to 4 years, someone has probably asked for my EIN maybe once. As a sole proprietor, technically you could use your social security number. However, for security purposes, I would definitely recommend just getting an EIN, and it's free, so why not? So yeah, after that, you're pretty much ready to start purchasing inventory and building your online store. I hope this information was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. If you like this video, please hit like. And if you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. All right, guys, well, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!